Welcome everyone. My name is Frank Savello and I'm a civil celebrant, and on behalf of Mildred's family, I thank everyone for coming to this ceremony today. And so we gather here to honour and pay tribute to the life of Mildred and to express our love and admiration for her. Also to try to bring some comfort to those of her family and friends who are here and have been deeply hurt by her death. While Mildred wasn't a practicing religious person, it's befitting that her funeral ceremony should reflect what she was, a gentle, kind and loving person devoted to her family. It's only natural that we should be sad today, because in a practical sense, Mildred is no longer a part of our lives. We must die, we know, said a character in Shakespeare. 'Tis but the time and drawing days out that men stand upon. And so we all come to ponder the life and death of a truly wonderful lady, aged 86, with confused and mixed feelings. For we have a powerful sense of loss, combined with the recognition that if death must come, it's as well that it's not unduly prolonged. We don't want to see someone we love suffer. So this sorrow and our sense of the fitness of things don't sit easily together. One purpose of our proceedings here today, in some way, is to try to reconcile those feelings. Today is also a day for memories. Today will be remembered for many reasons, but mainly I hope it will be remembered by you all as a very special day in which you shared some time with others in order to pay your last respects and to say both mentally and physically a sad and fond farewell to a wonderful lady, a lady who we were all so very privileged to have known. Death in a number of ways unites us all. Mildred's death for a time demands that each one of us put aside our toil, our cares, our business, our pleasure and our folly, to unite ourselves with everyone here, fellow mourners who share in the common bond of love and respect for Mildred. It's fitting that we should reflect on what we owe to those who have gone before us. Our lives are but the latest notes in a piece of music that began with the birth of humanity itself. Dearest family and treasured friends, the family have requested that I read the eulogy. Mildred Young was born in Cornwall, England on the first day of January 1935. She did the limited schooling which was normal for girls of that time. At the age of 18, she came to this country in the steps of her brother William. It was planned that the whole family would migrate to Australia, but this wouldn't have been possible due to lack of money. During her early years in Australia, Mildred worked in a factory as a dressmaker. She later would work from home as she became one of the best dressmakers with her specialty wedding gowns. It was through a friend with whom she worked that she met her husband of 58 years, Peter. They courted for a short period of time before deciding to marry and start a family of their own. Eventually, they settled in Brunswick. Peter worked as a boilermaker welder near home, so it wasn't uncommon for Peter to ride his bike home to a warm cooked lunch that Mildred would prepare. Their children, Janice, Jean and William, remember their parents as dedicated to their welfare and their education. Their father, who was supported fully by their mother, was a well-read and self-educated man who believed in the best intellectual and human values himself and passed them on to his children. Mildred lovingly looked after Peter to the end when he died in 2011. The loss of her husband, to whom she was so close, left a deep emptiness in Mildred's life. During the last 2.5 years, she suffered from cancer. She gradually lost weight and became worse. Last week, she was due to go to hospital for further treatment. She met her death before she went on Thursday, 11th May 2021. Mildred was basically a happy person, not given to moods or temper. She was an uncomplaining woman who took life in her stride and faced it with an even temperament. She was an extremely tolerant and broad-minded person who respected not only the views and convictions of others, but also their feelings and their imperfections. a kind and gentle person who nevertheless had a strong character. She was happiest in what she lived in her true role, that of dressmaker, mother and grandmother. She was hospitable to all and was in her element, providing her visitors with scones and tea, enjoying their comfort. In fact, she was a superb cook. Not only her family had the benefit of this, but also her friends and the boarders whom she looked after in recent years. Mildred was an extrovert who was interested much more in people than she was in material things. When she travelled, and she liked travelling, she would strike up a conversation with anyone in a friendly, sociable and generally interested way. She considered herself a citizen of the world, believed in a world community of all men and women, and rejected discrimination and prejudice in all its forms. She was a loving grandmother and delighted in the company of her 6 grandchildren, Olivia, Damien, Janice, John, Samantha and Timothy, and great-granddaughter Ariana. There are a number of other things I could put on the record about Mildred. She was a Labor supporter, an admirer of Daniel Andrews. She enjoyed light music and musical comedy. She liked working in her garden in her house at Brunswick and got on well with her neighbours. She was known as Mrs. Millie to nearly everyone. She thought of events and sent gifts and cards to the members of her family without fail. She enjoyed TV, especially The Bold and the Beautiful, which she watched every day without fail. The note on which I wish to end these comments is the quality which most stands out to her family about Mrs. Millie or Mildred, her unselfishness. She didn't live for herself but for others. She didn't buy for herself but for others. On the other hand, she hated being a trouble to anyone or causing anyone else inconvenience. But she would go to no end of trouble for her family, her loved ones, and her friends. After speaking with the family, I thought about Mildred. I had the feeling that I could say, without exaggeration, that Mildred was a woman who was a living contribution to people in her world and their benefit. Now I'd like to invite to the lectern Mildred's grandson Timothy, who will read a very short, reflective piece for us.
I am always with you. When I am gone, release me, let me go. I have so many things to see and do. You mustn't tie yourself to me with too many tears. You'd be thankful we had so many good years. I gave you my love, and you can only guess how much you've given me in happiness. I thank you for the love that you have shown, but now it's time I travelled on alone. So grieve me for a while, if grieve you must. Then let your grief be comforted by trust. That is only for a while that we must part, so treasure the memories within your heart. I won't be far away, for life goes on, and if you need me, call and I will come. Though you can't see or touch me, I will be near, and if you listen with your heart, you'll hear all my love around you soft and clear. And then when you come this way alone, I'll greet you with a smile and a welcome home.
Thank you, Timothy. We're coming to the end of this celebration of Mildred's life, but before we do, let's pause for a moment of reflection, a chance for all of us to digest all we've heard, a chance for you all to recall your own memories of her. Those of you who are believers may care to take this time to pray. Those of you who are non-believers may just wish to take this time to reflect on the meaning Mildred's life had for you. Now let us have a silence period, which will be followed by a piece of reflective music.
I took the supermarket flyers from the windowsill. I threw the day-old tea from the cup. Packed up the photo album Matthew had made, memories of a life that's been loved. Took the get well soon cars and stuffed animals. Poured the old ginger beer down the sink. Dad always told me, don't you cry when you're down. But Mum, there's a tear every time that I blink. Oh, I'm in pieces, it's tearing me up. But I know a heart that's broke is a heart that's been loved. So I'll sing hallelujah. You were an angel in the shape of my mum. When I fell down, you'd be there holding me up. Spread your wings as you go. When God takes you back, He'll say hallelujah, you're home. I fluffed the pillows, made the bed, stacked the chairs up. Folded your nightgowns neatly in a case. John said he'd drive, then put his hand on my cheek and wiped a tear from the side of my face. And I hope that I see the world as you did, 'cause I know a life with love is a life that's been lived. So I'll sing hallelujah. You were an angel in the shape of my mum. When I fell down, you'd be there holding me up. Spread your wings as you go. And when God takes you back, He'll say hallelujah, you're home. Hallelujah. You were an angel in the shape of my mum. You got to see the person I have become. Spread your wings and I know that when God took you back, He said hallelujah, you're home.
To the immediate family, Janice and Fred, Jean and Rex, William and Mary and their families, we all extend our deepest sympathy. We come with them as mourners. We share their grief. When at other times we grieve over lost opportunities, lost wealth or health, whenever a loss brings sorrow, it's our part to turn the affliction to some wise purpose in our life's experience. We can't think of Mildred's death without resolving to live a fuller, more meaningful life of our own. Because she was loved, because we are all here, even now she exerts her influence on us. Her death causes us to get our values into perspective. While we sincerely grieve today because we are parting with someone we have known and loved, we are also faced with the fact that we do not mourn alone. At this very moment, thousands of others are mourning the loss of their loved ones. Many of these have not died in peace at the end of a full and useful life as Mildred's was. Many have seen their loved ones torn from them by the awful demands of man's inhumanity to man. Bearing in mind the sorrow that others are experiencing today, we come to realise that we are living in a larger world than our own, and that the best way to face the unavoidable fact of death and parting is to take upon our shoulders the troubles of others, to go on working that we may help to remove the existing causes of injustice and preventable sorrow in this world. And now I invite those who will carry the casket to the cemetery to do so now. And everyone, I will then meet you back at the cemetery where we will have Mildred's final committal. Mildred, there is sadness in our hearts as we say goodbye, but there's profound gratitude for your life and you will never be forgotten. So I'm going to ask you all at the end of my verse to just simply respond with, we will remember you.
We will remember you.
When we are weary and in need of strength, when we are lost and sick at heart,
We will remember you.
when we have a joy we crave to share, when we have decisions that are hard to make,
We will remember you.
at the blowing of the wind and in the chill of winter, at the opening of the buds and in the rebirth of spring,
We will remember you.
at the blueness of the skies and in the warmth of summer, at the rustling of the leaves and in the beauty of autumn.
We will remember you.
As long as we live, you too will live, for you are now a part of us.
We will remember you.
Thank you, Mildred, for all you were and all that you gave, love and light on this your final journey. As we prepare to leave, let us entrust Mildred's body to the earth from which she came. All life is formed of earth and returns to the bosom of Mother Nature, either to earth, dust to dust, ashes to ashes. We commend Mildred and the memory we have of her to this ceaseless round, knowing that in time we too shall join this circle. Thank you, everyone. Very much appreciated.
When the rain is blowing in your face and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my